I turn 50 next year, and my oldest business turns 12. And this is the point where you're supposed to throw your hands up in shock and say, no way. I hope that's what's happening. I'm Antoinette, and I go live every Sunday, and I just share with you whatever has been percolating on my brain in that particular week. So buckle down and get with the programme. So for me, 50 feels like a massive flag in the sand. I guess as did the surprise and relief of having a 10-year-old business a year ago. And it's made for a really reflective year for me. And why do I bring this up this week? Well, I'm blessed to be in contact with a number of school friends, and my Facebook feed is slowly beginning to fill up with 50th birthday memes as the eldest or oldest, you tell me, in our year start to turn 50. And lots of conversations whenever we gather is about what are you doing for your 50th, but more importantly, how has life been in the 40s? What's going on with menopause? And what are your hopes and dreams for this next bit of our life? So every time we meet, the conversations are going deeper than they ever have done before. So in your opinion, what are those landmark ages for a person? I'd love to hear. Like, when do you pull out the big birthday guns? Is it at 1? Is it at 13? I'm just telling you mine, by the way. 18, 21, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80. Don't know why I skipped 70, but there you go. And 100. So I can only talk at this from two perspectives. I can talk about it being a business owner, and I can talk about it being a woman. Last night I was out for a 60th celebration night, and one thing we all agreed on around the table was that you could not pay us to go backwards. I don't think there's enough money in the world to make me go backwards. We're grateful for the lessons that we've learned. We're grateful for the hurdles that we've leapt and the battle scars that remind us of our resilience and our bravery. And those memories of bright, vibrant days where everything was upwards pointing and we had nimble bodies, but forward thrust continues to be a path of joy. But I don't know about you, and I don't know where you are in life, but I'm feeling very philosophical about 50 and our business turning 12. So I remember the feeling at 21 that I was powerful and that my horizons were massive and that I was going to conquer the world. And it was a vintage year. Like, that Antoinette was fierce and confident. I remember turning 5 and the business being on target to make its first million, and just realising that all sorts of possibilities and dreams could be realised, that I could make the move to Worthing the next year, and I did, that I had an admin team big enough to make the magic happen without mum being constantly present. I remember the quiet despair of turning 30 and being single and wrestling with a yearning to have a child, and slowly accepting that that wasn't going to be for me. And the hustle of 30, my goodness, exhausting. Turning 10 in the business last year was tough as well, like tough, like being 30. I swear, business years feel like cat years. I think for every one business year, you kind of have 3 life years. It's the equivalent of. So honestly, 10 feels like 30, particularly when you throw in a round of COVID and Brexit and the cost of living crisis, just in case you still thought you were a tough cookie. So I'm definitely going through the hustling years in business. I'm in survival mode, and I'm realising that some of the big ambitions that I had are going to look different now, and that I need to pivot towards a different narrative for the business. I remember the excitement of 40 and realising again that life was for living and that there was lots of fight in the old gal yet. And here we are as well, turning 12 in the business with altered hopes and dreams, remembering that the business is a blessing and not a curse. It's not a mill around my neck, that it has a role to play in making my corner of the world a better place. And my mantra for the 40s has been, get your big girl pants on, Daniel. Come on, flex those arms. There is still stuff to do, and there is still a lot of life left to live. But 50 once again feels like a powerful age. I've got more birthdays behind me than are likely ahead. Honestly, I don't want to be here at 100. I'm asking way more questions about the meaning of life. I'm all about not wasting the time that's left now. And I'm about surrounding myself with people and purposes that bring me soul deep joy. I am dusting down my 21-year-old queen, and I am polishing her up, and I am loudly and proudly saying, no, No, thank you. And oh no, you did not. I've got a business that's becoming 13, and we are also digging down deep into the trenches, and I know that there is gold to be found in it all. But with the experience of living nearly 50 years, as my younger friends, my July and August babies like me, keep reminding us, of the experience of nearly turning 50, one thing I do know, because that cycle happens over and over again, is that if you're feeling down and out, better days are coming. Cue Leandria Johnson. I put a little song in at the end. It's one of my mantras, go-to anthem songs that I sing when things are tough. I'm actually excited about the future. I'm excavating and I'm making sure that all of the right foundation stones are in place. I want to go out with a bang. I don't know about you. And I want the business and my life to be a force for good and a reflection of the God who props me up and gives me hope for the future. So a few questions for you. What's your next birthday milestone for you or your business? How are you feeling about it? And what was a vintage year for you? I'd love to know that. And finally, what are your hopes and plans for your next season? You know the drill, answers down below. And just to finish us off, I love this quote by George Meredith. Don't just count your years, make your years count. Have a great week, y'all. Choose joy.